Hey guys, welcome back to Lyre. We're on day 5, which is actually like day 3, but it's day 5. Or is it day 6? I don't know, I forget. Anyway, we're reading more Lyre. It's been almost a week since I awoke. The weather gets colder and colder every day, and I find myself yearning for a warm bath every morning when I wake up. The past couple of days have been relaxing, to say the least. Had plenty of time to work on preparations for the ball, and have been trying to take it at a nice pace. Well, a pace that's nice for me, at least. I don't want to end up running around at the last minute. He is not a procrastinator. He is not a procrastinator. All I have to do is make sure the resources are readily accessible and calculate the cost of everything. Oh yeah, I forgot we're the designated accountant. I forgot that's what Lyre is about. Lyre is a game where you travel off to a far kingdom to be their accountant. I forgot that's the plot. There's more to it than that, but that's the gist of it. I've been with Lyall during most of my free time. Although I rarely allow myself free time, but every day I do take a break. He has been very good company the past couple of days, and he's been showing me around. We haven't gone to the city yet, but I've been able to explore most of the castle. Oh no. Oh no. Please don't be another furry visual novel where the entirety of it takes place in like one castle and you never get to see any other aspect of the setting. Surely that won't be the case. Surely that won't be the case. Lyall has managed to cause my inner child to break out as we laugh and joke while walking through the halls. It's funny how he's supposed to be my guard, yet so far he's been my glorified guide. You won't see me complaining. I do appreciate the assurance, though, and having someone there to keep me company and show me around is really nice. It's a good thing that we get along. I hate for this whole thing to feel too professional. The other day, he took me up to the tallest tower where you could see the entire city and fjord. His fur was blowing in the wind, and he had a dreamy look in his eyes. I've spoken to Raynar a few times, but I don't get to see him too much. I'm not sure how I should feel about him. He's very kind and seems to have his wits about him. There's still something intimidating about him, though. Maybe it's because he's the king. At the beginning of every interaction with him, I start things out anxious, but then he manages to completely change the mood of the room. I guess he's just a big, friendly guy. I ran into Adrius. Adrian. Right, you say Adrian, you don't say Adrian. But also, I ran into Adrius a few times during the week as well. He hasn't really paid me much mind aside from the occasional greeting, and I honestly prefer it that way. But with the few interactions we've had where a conversation was expected of us, it felt more like an interrogation. He's constantly asking me questions about Aaron. I have a feeling that he doesn't talk with people much. I also feel like the more I avoid him, the better. Then there's Leaf. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that guy. I haven't seen him as much as the others. I passed him in the hallway once or twice, but it's rare to see him about unless he's looking for you. He's probably busy with his own work, which makes me feel like I've been too relaxed lately. I should probably focus on my work as well. Well, it sounds like you focus on your work a lot. I get out of the bath and turn off the water. I don't feel as sticky this time since I only used a small amount of soap. He learned. Walking over to one of the benches, I grab a towel and begin to dry myself off. Run the cloth down my body and between my legs, making sure I get all the water off my body. Okay, good job. Good job, Richter. It's very cold in here, and I know that's even colder out there. I dress myself and leave through the door. Immediately, the frigid wind hits my face, and I begin briskly walking back to my room. Leaves his room, immediately goes back to his room. He just like me for real. It's a crisp fall morning, and the sun casts a warm hue on the tree leaves below. My footsteps echo down the hall as I get closer to the door of my room. I reach the door, and when I open it, I'm blasted with warm air. When I enter the room, Lyall is leaning back in one of the padded chairs, rocking it on its back legs. I close the door behind me and lean against it. There's no fire. Yes? How's it so warm in here? Well. He leans forward in his chair. The castle is built above a hot spring. It's where we get the water for our plumbing. The water runs through the pipes built into the walls, and the heat rises up through the foundation. His demeanor slowly transitions into that of a happy child explaining something like something they're extremely interested in. It heats up the castle, which can be very nice during the colder seasons. It can be a real pain in the butt during the summer, though. My room will sometimes get so hot that I have to sleep with the covers off and the windows open. But that's certainly a sight. Shut up, Richter. That's actually really interesting and ingenious. The water, I mean. Isn't it? It's also why there's so many plants growing within the castle. Oh. Interesting. He gestures to all the leaves and vines on the walls. During this time of year, plants like those slowly work their way inside the castle walls, seeking warmth. It's not really a problem for any of us, and Reynard does love his plants. Yeah, I've noticed that. My room alone is decorated with potted flowers, but I've seen way more plants scattered throughout the castle's many corridors and rooms. What about the plants in pots outside? I think those get brought inside once the weather becomes too harsh for them. That makes sense. We're left in silence for a moment before I walk over to my desk and sit down in the cushioned seat. I peruse the notes that I've made on some of the arrangements for the food. Everything seems to be in order, so I set it off to the side and grab another document. I have a list of questions and instructions on this parchment for one of the servants to take down to the market. I need to work out the costs of the meat, and I also need to settle the payments for each butchery that provides. I take this document and set it on one of the trays outside to be collected. If there's nobody there to deliver it, that's usually what I have to do. Someone will come by to pick it up. I sit back down and see Lyall is now standing up from his chair, looking out the window. His tail, which I am now able to see clearly without the bulky cape in the way, wags left and right. You work too much. I'm sorry, what? I don't think I work enough. How much have you gotten done so far? I've done a lot, but I still have a lot more to do. I mean, I've already finished most of it, if I'm being honest with myself. I just wanted to get it done ahead of time. You spent all morning slaving away at that tiny desk of yours like a workaholic. Then you went to take a bath, and now you're back to work? You really don't need to fret about this as much as you have. It's not even your primary job while you're here. That doesn't start for a while. He reaches over and swipes my checklist off my desk. Hey. Turns away from me and skims over it for a hurried moment, and then turns around with a mocking look on his face. Most of this is already checked off. That's only one of the lists. He swipes the other list gracefully and holds it in front of his face. So that's almost complete too. Let's go ahead and floats down and lands on the other list. I give him a deadpan look. I'm just trying to get it done and out of the way. You're kissing up to the king, Richter. No, I'm not. I'm just doing my job. Which includes kissing up to the king. I heard this last part under my breath. He lets out a laugh and throws up his paws in a defensive manner. Relax, I only jest. Roll my eyes and give a defeated yet annoyed chuckle. I run a paw through his neck fluff as if it were a human's beard. I sometimes forget how similar we are in terms of mannerisms. He runs a ball. Well, I'm gonna go on a walk. He walks over to the door and looks to me. Lock the door behind me, okay? Really don't think that's necessary. Just do it, please. I'll get in trouble. No, you won't. Do it. Fine. He walks through the door and closes it behind him. Not wanting to upset him, I take the key off the desk and lock the door. It's a wonder he didn't follow me to the bathroom. Then again, I think he wants to avoid me assuming his attentions. I grab the checklist and mark off some of the tasks I've completed. As I lean against the bed frame and scribble on the list, I notice something out of the corner of my eye. There's a piece of parchment on the desk that's been drawn on. I pick it up and examine it. It's a drawing of a flower. Looks exactly like the one on my desk. I assume Lyall drew this, given the signature. For something I most likely scribbled while bored, this is very good. I wonder what his other drawings look like. He's an artiste? Lyall's an artist? He's an artist knight? Dude, that'd be a cool D&D class, artist knight. I wonder what class features artist knight gets. I place the picture back on the desk and walk over to my bed. I want to get back to work, but the bath made me feel very tired, and now all I want to do is sleep. Richter, you can't go to bed. I swear, if Richter goes to bed, I'm going to lose it. The worst part about sitting at that desk is whenever I lift my head, I can see the bed calling to me. I throw myself onto the mattress and pull the blanket up to my neck, slowly drifting off. Why? Guys, stop. Guys, we've got to stop writing stories. Get off the bed. We've got to stop writing so many stories where the main character is just lying in bed sleeping. I throw myself into the mattress and pull the blanket up to my neck, slowly drifting off. What could possibly happen? What could possibly be occurring? The hallway floor feels cold beneath my feet. Oh, is this another nightmare sequence? I'm outside of some room. It looks like the entrance to my room, but something different about it. Feels like some sort of twisted version of my room. There's no windows in the hallway, and I'm further into the castle. My hands don't feel like my hands either. I feel like a different person. Try the door, but it's locked. There doesn't seem to be any other doors in sight. With this, I begin to walk down the hall. The corridor seems to stretch on endlessly. As I walk further and further down the dimly lit hall, I can feel chills running up and down my body. This feels less like a dream, and more like a memory. A forgotten memory. Maybe one I never even had to begin with. Temperature seems to drop with every step I take. My steps become a bit more stumbled as the hallway starts to twist. I regain my balance and keep pushing forward. Continuing on is the last thing I want to do, but I can't help it. It's like I'm being forced to. Am I going the wrong direction? Was I maybe supposed to go the other way? Where am I? I really think turning back is the best idea, especially since I've come so far. There's no turning back. I've already done it. Then what? Finally, I reach the end of the long and twisted corridor. There's a large archway that leads to a set of spiral stairs. Look behind me, and the hall is so twisted that further down the corridor, the floor is where the ceiling should be in relation to where I'm standing. A figure is walking towards me from where I came. They're very far off, and I can't quite make out who they are from this distance. From my perspective, they're upside down. Or are they right side up? Either way, I'm curious and don't want to be alone in this odd situation, so I wait for them. After a few seconds, I realize they aren't getting any closer. It's as if they're walking in place. The presence starts to unnerve me, so I give up and step through the archway. I take my first step down the stairs, holding onto the banister. Down? No, I'm going up. I can only go up. As I go on, I start to shake from the cold. Is this a metaphor? My whole body is freezing. After it feels like I've gone up about 3 floors, I come across a figure on the staircase. They're facing away from me with their hands behind their back. I want to move forward and approach the figure, but I'm frozen in place. My body wants to keep going. Then, the figure moves. They begin to walk down the stairs. Backwards. First one foot, then the next. I don't really have much time to contemplate this, however, as I keep finding myself stumbling down the stairs. Running away. Afraid. I don't know what's going on, but I have a very terrible feeling about this. The figure starts to pick up their pace. Each of their footsteps loosely slap against slabs of stone. I miss one of the steps on my way down and trip, barely making it far enough to gain any distance. I turn around just in time to see the figure bend backwards and loom over me. これは何ですか? Bye. Bye what? What am I supposed to interpret from bye? I jostle on the mattress, feeling like I was just jabbed in the sides. Hear a knock at the door and mutter out a response in a confused and tired tone, not really knowing what's happening. Yes? Richter, it's me. Please open the door. Much to my strength, I rise out of bed, trying to not let all the blood rush to my head. Frame perfect input. Alright, I'm coming. I straighten out my clothes and quickly fix my hair. The key is laying on the desk where I left it. Pick it up and unlock the door. Lyall stands in the doorway, panting slightly, trying to catch his breath. Lord Kadaj is here. Huh? An ambassador from Dries. He's here. Dries or Dries? I don't know. He's here. How long has he been here? About half an hour, I think. He was heading to the throne room with Raynar. I passed him in the hall while on my walk, and he asked me to come and get you. How long was I asleep? You were asleep? Yeah. Thought you were supposed to be working. I was working, I couldn't really think of an excuse, so I cut myself off and sigh in defeat while he smirks at me. You were asleep for about an hour, I'd wager. Tidy up and make yourself look a bit more presentable. Touch my forehead with my hand and realize I was sweating. Okay. The nightmare was incredibly bizarre. I've never really had cryptic nightmares like that before. Are you sure? Are you sure? What was that the other day, then? What was that the other day, Richter? Actually, they started after I got here. Why can't I go back to having nice dreams? Grab a towel from the dresser next to my bed and dunk it into a bowl of cold water. I run it over my face and around my neck. Then I straighten out my clothes and fix my hair. How do I look? You look great. Great. He gets to the door and holds it open for me. Thank you. I keep doing it. You're welcome, my lord. Please don't. At first, I was pleased with how good the cold towel felt on my face. Stepping out into the cool chill of the afternoon makes me regret doing it, though. My face feels like it's going to freeze up and crack like porcelain. Follow me, the throne room is this way. It leads me down the flight of stairs at the end of the hallway. I notice there are a lot of plants growing on the walls the further down the corridor we go. I can hear leaves crunching underneath my shoes. This castle is so full of life. We're further away from the outdoor hallways and getting closer to the inside of the castle. It's a lot warmer, and I enjoy the feeling of the fire coming from the torches above. Really? I don't know. For some reason, whenever I see blue magic fire, I just assume it doesn't, let off that much heat. Maybe it's the opposite here. Maybe blue fire is actually much stronger than non-blue fire. Who knows? Lyall turns a corner, leading me down another hallway with a considerable amount of flowers and leaves adorning the walls. I assume the vitality fire coming from the torches is what's keeping these plants alive. Vitality fire? Vitality fire? I watch his large poofy tail swish back and forth as he walks ahead of me. He has a funny way of walking where he puts a lot of the momentum in his arms and shoulders. Something like a strut. We arrive at a large archway, and Lyall steps to the side, gesturing for me to walk through. What I see next is the most marvelous room I've ever laid eyes on. It's not much in terms of size, but it feels like something out of a dream. Large gold-tinted windows line the walls, casting light onto the floor. Patches of grass and plants are burst out of the foundation, and golden flowers grow off of them like spots of sunlight. The main attraction, however, is a peculiar sight at the very end of the hall. The ground has burst through the platform, and a grassy patch has taken its place. On top of this, a large tree stump has been carved into a massive throne. Cushions line the seat, and the gold crest of Tigran sits atop the back of the throne. I see Lyre's banners lining the walls, with the Ogian family crest upon them, and a large green rug leading up to the throne. How do I keep doing that? Lyall and I begin to walk down the hall, with me taking the lead. How do I keep doing that? Reiner is standing with his arms behind his back at the end of the hall, speaking with what I assume to be Lord Kadaj. Even from here, I can tell that he is a feline. The pointy ears and tail give it all away. Was he like? He's I don't know what he is. I can't name what species he is, though. Thank you, Richter. Thank you for the solidarity. It's definitely not a species I've ever seen. I'm not very good with that sort of thing anyway. How do I keep doing it? He's about my height, maybe just a bit taller, and he's wearing a sharp green outfit. They love green here. The thing that stands out the most of all are his eyes. They're large and cat-like, well, shining like polished jasper. His tail lightly whips to and fro in a lazy manner. Reynard notices me approaching and turns in my direction. There he is, our friend from Erin. I give him a nod and a smile as I approach. My apologies for being a bit late. I was not very prepared. I can tell Lyall is forcing himself to hold back a laugh. Kadaj speaks up. If anyone should be apologizing for being late, it's me. Not close enough that he reaches out a paw. Please allow me to properly introduce myself. I'm Lord Kadaj of Driz. I take his paw and shake it firmly. Very nice to meet you, Lord Kadaj. I'm Lord Richter of Erin, and this is Lyall Reed, Captain of the Royal Guard. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lord Richter and Lyall Reed. King Reynard has mentioned you quite a bit in his excitement. Look to Reynard and he looks at the two of us. All good things. It's true. We were just exchanging stories. I was telling him the story of why I was delayed. What happened? He breathes in and begins to explain. We were making our way through the canyon pass when we were set upon by bandits. My soldiers fought bravely, but we were out of our element and easily cornered. Sounds terrible. Men fought them off, but they stole a few of our carriages and carts, riding off with them, leaving most of us stranded. There weren't too many casualties, thankfully, but it made our trip considerably longer. It's almost like this is like when Richter was coming and there was a big avalanche. Could these two instances of them being delayed? Could this be intended by some person, place, or thing? By some noun? Took us about a day and a half, but we finally came upon an outpost. I sent a letter to Dre's and made sure that outpost would be compensated for the horses, carts, and supplies we borrowed. After that, we made it through the rest of the canyon pass and up through the northern run. He pauses and we let this revelation sink in. Something needs to be done about those bandit groups south of the glade. Tried everything I can on my end. It's bad enough that they prey on travelers, but now they're directly attacking royal officials. He turns to Kadaj and nods his head. Rest assured, I will do what we can to resolve this issue. My advisor and war minister is away on a sensitive diplomatic mission, and I estimate she will not return for a couple of weeks. Hopefully by then a solution will be found. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Thank you, but I believe that something like this would be conducted best with her here. It's a problem I'll be glad to be rid of. The king's advisor? I was wondering why I hadn't met them yet. However, I trust that you will be able to handle the task that I've given you with care. Of course, Your Majesty, that's why I'm here. Silence falls over the Golden Hall, and before we let it get too awkward, I speak up. An avalanche wiped out half of my entourage, and I was wounded for a couple of days. Kadaj shoots me a look of shock. Really? Yes. That's a bit blunt. He's right. Shouldn't blurt things out like that. Not very good at telling stories, though. My apologies, I haven't really had the chance to tell anyone yet. How's that? Well, when you're knocked out for 4 days, everyone seems to find out about it before you do. Takes him a moment, but Kadaj lets out a quick loud laugh. You're very clever. He gives a curt nod and a smile. Not many people tell me that, but when they do, I can't help but feel it's just some sort of attempt at flattery. How do I keep doing it? I'm just decent with words, nothing more. Don't worry, I think that's even better. I give him a smile and turn to Reynard. So this is the throne room? Reynard turns in the direction of the throne, biting his lip. Yes, this is my throne. It's a very handsome chair. Yes, but not as comfortable as one would think. I rarely like to sit in it. Is that a metaphor? Is that a metaphor for how he doesn't appreciate, or he doesn't want to be king? I rarely like to sit in it. Though some say it's the source of all life in the kingdom. Really. It certainly looks like it. Gesture around the room with my hand. Reynard chuckles. Yes, well, they also say that the water from deep under the ground is what gives this area life. The tree was cut ages ago, but it still continues to thrive. And yet it will never reach its true potential. Adrius announces his arrival by walking through a door behind the throne. He enters with a smile, clearly interested in the subject matter. I take it you finished your classes. Training in the courtyard? Of course. Lord Kadaj, this is my son, Prince Adrius. Adrius? Adrius? Who knows? Reynard gestures towards Adrius as he approaches us. Kadaj turns and bows before Adrius. Now that is a name I've heard of. Prince Adrius, it is an honor to finally make your acquaintance. Adrius seems pleased with this display. Can't tell if this is more flattery or if he's being genuine. Thank you, my lord. I take it your trip went smoothly. He was not here for the info dump. Not as smoothly as one would have hoped. I ran into some trouble on the road. I can explain it to you later if you like, but right now I need a hot bath and some rest. Adrius bites his cheek and responds in a curious tone. I would enjoy that, yes. Kadaj walks up to me and grabs both my hands in his paws. It's a pleasure meeting you, my lords Richter and Lyall. I can't say I've met many humans. Lyall gives a quick bow of acknowledgement. Can't say I've met many, Kadaj places a paw over his mouth and chuckles. Caracals? 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 I don't know how you say that. Yes, forgive me. My knowledge on different species is a bit rusty. There's nothing to be forgiven. I'm a bit of a rare species, especially in these lands. He turns and bows to Raynar and Adrius. It was very nice meeting you, Raynar and Adrius. I'll take my leave. Hopefully my guards haven't become too comfortable in my room yet. Watch Adrius has his eyes perfectly follow Kadaj as he walks away. He walks down the hall and disappears through the archway, his tail whipping around the corner. Before anything else can happen, Adrius speaks up. Lord Richter, I'd like to have a word with my father alone, if you don't mind. Raynar looks to his son with an inquisitive look. Of course. I'll be going now. Goodbye. Take care, Richter. I turn and walk down the hall with Lyall following behind me. I can hear Adrius mumbling something to Raynar as I round the corner. Something about Kadaj. Even with the echoing halls, it's hard to make out what he's saying. We make our way a couple of steps down the corridor before Lyall speaks up. What's Lyall going to say? Man, Lord Kadaj sure is Lord Kadaj, isn't he? He seems a bit eccentric. I take a seat on one of the benches nearby and rest my head against the back of the wall. I like him. Lyall sits down next to me, lifting his tail so that he doesn't sit on it. I don't know, I don't trust him. He crosses his arms and looks at me. Seems like a man of motives and flattery. Is it because he's a cad? No, it's not because he's a cad. That's a bit rude, you know. He has an annoyed look on his face. I was only joking, but I'm sorry. It's fine. I actually enjoy cats. They're good at making conversation. Sure. Right. Everybody write that down in your journals. Cats are good at making conversation. Meow. 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 As they talk, I notice two guards pacing down the hallway with their helmets under their shoulders. One's an eagle who looks to be in his early 30s, and the other is an old, large bear with a beard. They're wearing the same type of armor as Lyall. When they get close enough, the bear nudges the eagle, looking in Lyall's direction. He whispers something in the eagle's ear, which makes the eagle chuckle. They get closer, so I decide to stare at the wall and pretend I'm lost in thought. I'd like to avoid drawing any attention. Lyall watches them as they pass. Gentlemen. Captain! The eagle addresses Lyall, but the bear pays him no mind. The bear pays him no mind. Lyall gives a nod, and they both continue moving down the hallway. Wonder what that was all about. His silence seemed very forced. As I was saying. He bends over, resting an elbow on his knee, and begins to speak in a more hushed tone. You can't just blindly put your trust into people like him. I know that. Never said I trusted him, I just think he seems nice. What do you mean by that? By what? People like him. It's not like that. I meant ambassadors and diplomats. I give him plenty of time to let those words settle in before talking. Lyall, I'm an ambassador. Yeah, but I mean, you don't... I trust you, though. He's a very vibes guy. Lyall's a very vibes guy. And I know you won't make me regret it. Taken aback by this and can't think of what to say at first. Lyall, thank you for putting your trust in me. I put my trust in you. I'm just here to help. He stands up and looks down at me. I know. You're not like the others. What's Lyall's deal? I get up too, and carry on with walking down the hallway. Lyall catches up to me and matches his pace with mine. Hey, I do want to show you something really cool. What is it? You'll see, follow me. I want to dispute this at first, but I shrug my shoulders and follow him down the halls. We stroll down a corridor overlooking a courtyard, and up ahead there's an exit that leads outside. Lyall picks up his pace, practically speed-walking. He reaches to the archway and turns around, standing there waiting for me to catch up. We reach the opening and look outside. Pretty, huh? The cold fall wind lightly whips my face, and I'm found staring at the beautiful garden. At a beautiful garden. What kind of fruits are those? Are those apples? They look like... Maybe they're apples, I don't know. Smooth round stones and berry bushes line the dirt path. Each berry is red and shining, Almost as big as cherry tomatoes. Okay, guys, do note, also write down in your journals, cherry tomatoes do exist in the Lyreverse. The entire garden is surrounded by stone walls and large, thick trees. This place feels more natural than most gardens, like a serene sanctuary. Birds chirp and wind blows through the trees, causing leaves to dance to the ground. The pond off the path has a strange green glow to it, as if there are lights at the bottom. Spooky? Spooky pond? It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, wow. Welcome to my favorite place in the castle. It's beautiful out here. The weather usually fares better this time of day. He's right, the cold isn't that bad under the warm sunlight. Guess I should enjoy moments like this before the weather becomes too cold. Oh, here. We walk over to one of the berry bushes and he plucks one of them. Try one of these. Oh, I take the berry and put it in my mouth. He dies. He dies instantly of poisoning. You're not supposed to eat wild berries. Instantly, it bursts with flavor in my mouth. It's not necessarily the best taste, but it feels good on my tongue. Like a tingling feeling. Okay, that's definitely poisonous. The berry was cold, which is good because I like my fruit cold. That's pretty good. A smile breaks out on his face as he pops a berry in his mouth. Yeah, they're great. Raynor absolutely loves them. Really? See, wolves are immune to the berry, but humans aren't immune to the berry. So Richter's going to die later, right? He's going to die because the berry's poisonous to humans. It's not poisonous to wolves though, because he's developed a resistance. But Lyall doesn't know that. I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen. Really? Yeah. Though I'm pretty sure the taste is better for those who don't eat meat. Sometimes he'll take walks through the garden and pick berries to bring up to his room in a basket. They grow really fast, so we always have plenty. Also, all the fruit in the garden is unaffected by winter, so we don't have to worry about them. That's convenient. Now he mentions it, I was wondering why the fruit was still on its trees. Especially since it snowed a couple times while I was here. Has it? Of course, it wasn't enough snow to be bad. It snows much more up in the mountains. Thinking about the snow in the mountains eventually causes my mind to dwell on the avalanche. I try to push it out of my mind, but a horrible feeling of dread begins to overwhelm me. I can tell it's apparent on my face because Lyall notices. What's wrong? It's nothing, my mind has been racing lately. How so? I don't know, sometimes I'll catch myself talking to people, but I'm not even paying attention to them. My ears register the noise of the words, but all I hear are my thoughts. And they aren't happy thoughts. Does that ever happen to you? Yeah, sometimes. But that's not what's actually bothering you, is it? It's deeper than that. How could you tell? May not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm good at being able to tell when someone's lying. Liar? Is that why you don't like Kadaj? Well, I guess. The problem with him, though, is that I couldn't tell whether he was acting or not. And in my opinion, that's worse. Now, stop changing the subject. What's really wrong? Clasp my hands together in front of me and continue to walk down the path at a slow pace. My thoughts have been going dark places recently, even when I sleep. I've been trying to push them out, but they keep resurfacing. What are those thoughts about? Well, so much has happened recently. A lot of it happened while I was out, so it feels like it's all just happening too fast for me to take in. By the time I had woken up after being knocked out for so long, the survivors had already left for Erin. I don't even know who died. Did I know them? Then my mind starts racing with more thoughts of what happened. Never even really been bothered by something like this before. Fiddle with one of the buttons on my vest as we walk. I don't know why, but death has never really bothered me that much. Sometimes I feel like I'm forcing myself to act shocked or sad. Growing up, people close to me, or when people I knew would die all the time. I guess I'm just numb to it. Or I was. This time it's different. I feel like I'm not acting like myself. Like there's a part of me that's missing or hidden. With each passing day, the guilt gets worse and worse, and I just take a moment to catch my breath. Just miss home, I guess. As childish as that sounds. Huh. Interesting. I threw one of the berries to the side of the path in anger. That's not childish. Yes, it is. I know he's right, but I just feel so stupid right now. Even if something is right, that doesn't mean I'll feel good about it. It's completely normal to be homesick. Richter doesn't like these lands because they make him feel grief, right? He liked it better in his kingdom, where he didn't feel like feeling grief. Do you have any family? Someone you love? Oh boy. No, I'm not married. Really? Suppose that makes sense. Otherwise you would have journeyed here with you. Either way, I figured you would be one of the most desirable bachelors in your kingdom. Try with all my might not to get too flustered by this comment. It's far from the truth. Nah, you just refuse to see it. Sure, you may not have a strong family name, but the mystery of your nobility is certainly attractive. I hate royals. I hate nobility. I'm sure many ladies pine after you. Let out a nervous laugh at his attempts at boosting my spirits. Yes, well, if only I desired them as much as they desired me. We keep walking, and after a few seconds, he finally takes the hint, doing a double take in my direction. Oh, really? I had no idea. I shrug, my face visibly hot with the blood, the cold doing its best to hide it. I guess you don't mind me saying this, but I would have never guessed. He puts a paw on my shoulder in a friendly way, smiling as he does. Yeah, most people don't. I want to change the subject, but he beats me to it. Now, about what happened. You might not like to hear this, because it's often the phrase most people use, but they're in a better place now. There was a tragic accident, and you shouldn't blame yourself for it. I don't blame myself for it, it just terrifies me thinking about it. Death has always been a pretty confusing subject for me. I mean, I grew up being taught to feel a certain way about something, but then after a while I become numb to it. Even if it's in my nature to feel that way. And then when those feelings really do take over, my entire mind just shuts down. Do you know what I mean? Can imagine what that might feel like. He runs his paw through his neck fluff again. Thanks for listening. But if it's okay with you, I'd rather not talk about it anymore. Sure. You step off the path and stroll over to the pond underneath the fruit tree. I sit down in the grass and Lyall walks up to the tree. He picks 2 ripe fruits from the branches and walks back over to where I'm sitting. He throws me a fruit, which I catch clumsily. Its skin is a bit tough, and the hole where the stem was is dripping with a sticky substance. It's gotten all over my right hand, but I ignore it. He takes a seat on the tree stump in front of me with an understanding smile on his face. Reynard can keep his weird chair. This is my throne. He then takes a large bite out of the bottom of the fruit, getting juice all over his mouth in the process. So. Yes? You prefer the company of men, right? Oh, so that's what you got off that little chat we just had? I jab at his leg with my foot. Hey, you're the one who said you didn't want to talk about the avalanche anymore. Can you blame me for being curious? Fold my hands on my lap and look down at the pond water. He's such a goober. I guess I can't blame you. Sorry, I usually have a habit of dropping that information suddenly without warning. I'm not too open about it, but also don't try to hide it. You most likely won't have to. People in Lyre are perfectly fine with something like that. Yeah. I don't know, I've just never really been interested in women. Women. Neither have I. He shuffles his feet on the ground and looks at the fruit in his paws. Wait, really? Yeah. I mean, growing up I thought I liked girls. I guess I just assumed I was supposed to. Fooled myself into thinking the feelings I had were right, and that this is how it's supposed to be. But as I got older, I realized I felt, more comfortable around men. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Can't believe this is happening. I'm really happy to hear this, but also super nervous. Does he think I'm trying to make a move on him? Is he making a move on me? Is that why he's telling me? My mind spirals out of control for a brief moment, but it feels like forever. It's been a problem for me in the past, but doesn't bother me that much anymore. Yeah, try not to let it bother me either. There's a long pause. Seems like the both of us don't know whether to continue on this topic or change the subject. I hold up my fruit that he gave me. What is... I blow out a nervous cough. What is this? Oh, it's a dragon apricot. A dragon apricot? Really? Sure. They're really sweet, and they have a lot of juice in them. Yeah, I can tell. Wonder why they're called dragon apricots. Point to his muzzle, which confuses him for a second. He goes to lick it off, but completely misses. Then sticks his tongue out at me. They turn your tongue orange. I chuckle at his silly display and he laughs too. He's clearly pleased that something so silly can amuse me. I take a bite into the fruit and it bursts with flavor in my mouth. I don't really enjoy the texture that much, but its pros outweigh the cons. I have to catch myself and make sure the juice doesn't dribble down my chin. It's really good. Yeah, just watch out for the pit in the middle. Look down and sure enough, there's a pit exposed from my bite. It's deep and vibrant brown. I stare at the pit in the center of the fruit and realize how happy I feel right now. Just to be able to sit here and eat fruit with Lyall. As the birds chirp and the breeze grazes my skin, I feel so relaxed. Good job. We continue to eat and talk as the sun slowly sets over the mountains. How do I keep doing that? After a while, we head inside the castle and make our way back to my room. I have a question for you. Ask away. Aren't you wearing any armor? Oh. Today's my 23rd birthday. You're just now telling us this. I get the day off. Which is great, because last year my birthday fell on a day when I already had the day off. Why didn't you tell me it was your birthday? Because it's not really that important to me. And I wanted to spend the day with you without it being too extra. It's better that way. I wouldn't have spent all morning doing work if I knew that was your birthday. Richter, honestly, it's fine. I enjoyed being able to relax. Plus, that armor is a pain in the ass. He rolls his shoulders back and smiles. Getting on the topic of Lyall's armor makes me... Oh. Armor... Okay, so earlier they spelled collar without the U in collar, but now they're spelling armor with the U in armor. So I don't know. I don't know anymore, guys. Makes me remember those guards we saw outside of the throne room. Lyall? Yes, Richter? Do you remember those two guards whispering about us in the hallway? Takes a moment to answer. Yes. What do you think they were talking about? Richter, I think they were talking about me. They think that I'm your lackey or something. He looks down at the ground with a frown. But you're not. You were just assigned to be my guard. It's a bit confusing, though, don't you think? The captain of the royal guard was assigned to guard an ambassador, when he should be guarding the king. Reynard appointed me as captain for certain reasons that he feels he doesn't need to justify, and the other guards are confused by it. Well, what do you think? He picks a leaf off one of the vines and examines it. I trust our king's judgment. He's very wise and has plenty of experience. I believe that he chose me for a reason. My ability to command, my mentality, my youth, whatever it may be. And he assigned me to you because... Well, I don't know. There are other guards with much more experience who can protect the king and prince. And I like being your guard. He looks down at me with a smile. I like it too. I think whoever wanted to come after Reynard would honestly be the one needing protection. He's huge. True, he is a big man. But he's not a fighter. More of a gentle giant. Still, I wouldn't want to pick a fight with him. He would bear hug me to death. Ha ha ha. Now that I could see happening. We arrive at the door to my room and Lyall opens it for me, stepping off to the side. Richter? Yes? I know that you're pretty open about it, but I won't tell anyone about what we talked about earlier. Oh, thanks. I don't really care either way, though. Okay, just, can you promise me something? Sure. Please don't tell anyone about my attractions. Of course. Thank you. Huh. It's interesting... It's interesting that he wants his side of things kept like a secret. Because earlier he was like, oh, people in Lyre don't care. But I guess it's different for him since he's in like a bit of a higher position. Step inside and lean against the doorway. Good night, Lyall. Good night. Takes off down the hall at a slow pace. As he walks down the hall, I hear him yell back to me. Don't forget to lock the door. I yell back to him. I know. Happy birthday. He turns around, ears red, and giving a shy smile. Thanks. He walks off with his tail wagging. Close the door behind me, lock it, and take off my clothes. The blankets on my bed are nice and warm due to the natural heat. I slowly drift off to sleep, thinking about Lyall. Chapter 4, day 18. Okay, we're jumping ahead a lot. Okay, that was chapter 3 Lyre. That was Lyre chapter 3, I guess. Thank you guys, very cool.